the volume.
Turn up the volume.
You've arrived at the destination for all things Kentucky. This is the Bleed Blue Network Podcast.
What is going on, Big Blue Nation? And it's been one hell of a couple of days. I think we are a week and some change removed from the last episode, and we were talking that it feels like the Tennessee win was so long ago, and maybe it didn't even happen the way the fans feel at the moment.
Listen, if I say this, because this might sound crazy, but I would trade a Tennessee win for an Arkansas win at this moment.
I think there was the sentiment from a lot of folks.
That's fine, Tennessee, beat our ass, but like Arkansas, no.
Just this year, right? This year was not the year to lose to Arkansas, but yeah, we'll get there. Like you said before we started recording, we decided to what are we going to talk about? And it was, we're just going to raw dog this thing and
we're just going to raw dog in this episode, guys. Good luck.
Yeah, and it's not going to be pretty. But you know what? That's probably going to give us the best show we could possibly get. Just uncut, unfiltered, and get our emotions out before we play again on Saturday. But I guess if we start chronological order. Last Tuesday was a win, improbable win for a lot of the fans against Tennessee in Thompson Bowling or Food City Center, whatever the hell you want to call it nowadays. Some good coaching, I think, from Pope and the staff. They went all in on Tennessee cannot shoot. I think Tennessee had over 43s, and they shot
45 total, I think.
45. And
I made 11 of those. 11 of 45.
So I don't do math in public, but I can tell you right now, that's not good. Not good. So, and we get a win, and it was a close win, gritty win. Very, very excited on what this team can do. Again, Jackson Robinson played great minutes. Guarded Zakai Ziegler, kind of locked him down his length, gave him issues. Chaz had an okay game, but we kind of kept him in check for most of it. And really Amari playing that point center, bringing the ball down, starting the offense, was great. Okay. Everybody excited. And then we start playing for Arkansas, and I traveled to see y'all Thursday. I'm on a plane. Everybody's excited. Friday we get dinner. We're stoked. Saturday tip off happens. We get out to a pretty big lead. I think it was 18-12. And then from there, oh my goodness, did it get ugly?
It was bad.
And in a game that you kept looking and going, okay, there's still plenty of time. Halftime, we're down 1. And then all of a sudden we're down 10 with like 10 minutes left. Hey, still plenty of time. And it just seemed to drag on. And honestly, it was like a death by 1,000 cuts, that game. I know we were in the same building, watched it together, and Gillums and you could tell Rupp were absolutely electric for the first half. And then I know the atmosphere we were at was just sad and just
went
doom.
Downhill so fast.
Like there was no more CATS, cats chance. It was just
nothing.
People trying to convince themselves that it was going to be okay, and it was just not good. I mean, the place was packed. The place was packed. And then by about 4 minutes left to go, it was just, hey, give me my bill. I'm ready to get out of here. And drain my sorrows in some alcohol at home, probably. But what did you see in the game? I mean, we have some glaring issues in effort that we'll talk about, from the Ole Miss game when we get there. But the Arkansas game, what did you see from that game?
Honestly, Kobe Bray kind of disappeared again a little bit, which is a problem we've talked about, right? Like I feel like he regressed from the Tennessee game a little bit. Amari Williams was unstoppable. They should have fed Amari the entire game. Feed him the entire game. Big Z couldn't guard him. Adu couldn't guard him. Right, he was doing his thing. I think we also banked on Arkansas not making threes.
Yeah.
They made a bunch. They made 14, 15 threes, something like that. I don't remember the exact amount they made. But it was way, way more than they usually make. Shot way higher than their season average by 20-some%, I think. So, Arkansas they played their best game of the year by far. And granted, it's because they're motivated, right? Every time, DJ scored, he would hold his finger to his lips, whatever. And it's okay, cool, you're motivated because we booed you. Awesome. But it's at the same time, if I'm an Arkansas fan, I'm okay, then where's this team been the entire year? Right? We've been getting embarrassed in the SEC, and now we come out and play this way. What are we doing, right?
Yeah, that's a good point from Arkansas perspective. I haven't thought about it from that. I've been just solely looking at it from our fan base perspective, and there was a team, especially maybe not even a full team. John L had a good game compared to what he's been playing, but there was really three dudes on that Arkansas roster who came into Rupp who truly fought for Cal. And for everything that Big Blue Nation want to hit on Cal for in the last 4 to 5 years in the tournament losses and the disappointing postseason runs, he always had players play for him, not always in the big moments. But, I've referenced this before on the show. Last year when we traveled to Auburn, and Auburn was, game day, and Auburn was supposed to just smack us around because they are the tougher, more physical team. Our Ken Palm defense was in the hundreds, absolute trash. And that team just fought. And, when we didn't see it enough the last 5 years, but we were reminded when Swaggy Cal wants to come out, it's dangerous and he can get a win that he's not supposed to. Yeah. That Real G's move and sounds like lasagna, Swaggy Cal, Little Wayne. Yeah, Little Wayne reference, that when that guy comes out, it's normally not good for the other team. And on the pregame show, I thought it was dangerous, the fact of, hey, Cal was going to get booed. We will recognize him and his legacy at Kentucky one day. I believe it, and he deserves it. That game, he was going to get booed. I thought it was a little excessive, the whole turn your back on them the eruption zone, turn their back on them, whatever. They're fans in Rupp, and they chose to do that. But I told you before the game, I said, man, I would not boo Adu. I would not boo DJ, and I would not boo Z, because they did produce some wins, especially Adu. DJ was there for a year, Z was there for a year, and they did some good things. The Georgia game, the Alabama game for Z will be something we never forget. But we watched Adu
was that guy, though.
3 years.
We watched him grow up a little bit.
Yeah, we watched him go from great athlete to actual good ball player over 3 years. And he did what he needed to do. DJ had the best game he's ever had in Rupp Arena, but wearing Arkansas jersey, unfortunately. Unfortunately, they were motivated and they played for Cal. And as my emotions kind of turned off away from that game and started focusing on, just traveling back home and getting ready for the Ole Miss game, it was almost like, was that how it was supposed to be? Now, and I want to get some slack for this as a Kentucky fan, but man, he came back in there, the Joe B. Hall rolled up a program, and it was just his team fought hard and got a win. And we said, this was the closeout chapter for Cal. And I don't know, maybe that's how it was supposed to go out. That probably will be one of the best wins that he has at Arkansas. I won't say in his career, but
right.
National championship game. He's done had a lot of great wins at Kentucky. Had a lot of great wins at Memphis. But when he looks back at his Arkansas career, however long that is, this will be one of the top 5, I imagine, unless they do something crazy and happen to win a title while he's there. But am I crazy for saying that? Am I crazy for giving some Cal sympathy here? Because I was a truther up until he left.
I was too. So we're on the same boat on that one. We talked about this. No, because like you said, he came in there. He knew it was going to happen. He was expecting it, right? And if anything, Cal's proven he can motivate his players to play well. And those three, especially Z, Adu, and DJ, they were extra motivated because they've been a part of this. You know what I mean? Like, so they were extra motivated to come in and win. I actually have in a text thread, and God, Vivian's gonna wreck me for this one. I have in a text thread where I said, "Oh, what? Arkansas gonna beat Kentucky?" Like a week before it happened. Like I will send you a screenshot, Rando. I said that. I got roasted as hell for it, but I said it. So
I just had that feeling. I must have said 100 times how nervous I was in that game. You know, and everybody was like, "You got to zone this team. You got to do this and this." And don't. I was worried about Z. We've seen what he could do. He's, you know, he will. He's
a matchup problem for Amari and BG just because he can pop out and shoot so well.
Yeah, and especially with our bigs not wanting to close out from the 3-point lane, we'll get on that, or for the 3-point shot, we'll get on that at the Ole Miss game. Good grief.
Okay.
Like our feet are not stuck in cement, and you are allowed to actually close out hard.
You can move, I promise.
Yeah. But yeah, Z played the stretch 5 in this game, which he really hadn't done all season for Arkansas. Everybody was upset that he hasn't been used in the way he should be. And sure enough, Cal said, "Hey, I'm coaching fearless. Y'all play fearless." And they jacked up the most threes they had in the game. And like I said before, when they're open and it's like a daggum shoot around, these guys are going to look like great shooters. And they did. Yep. And, that's potentially a massive confidence game for this team moving forward. Now, as much sympathy I just had for Cal right now, I hope they lose every single other game that they play. And
they have been so far. They have been.
They are up 6 at Texas right now, but it's still in the first half.
Okay.
But yeah, the only other way I would want this story to be written is, hey, he got his win in Rupp. Give us one more chance in the SEC tournament. Let's send their ass home in the SEC tournament. And, I'll say, yes, the story was definitely written how it was supposed to be written.
Right. Yeah, the game it is what it is. That was a dangerous game for us no matter what this year.
Yeah.
Just because of the dynamics of it. But shout out to Amari, because Amari did his thing. They could not guard him to save their life. I mean, it didn't matter. He dribbled the ball, point guard, point center. He actually had some post moves this game. Like did well on his free throws. Hit a double. I think he finished 22 points. I think something like that. I believe is what he finished with, 22. I think.
Yeah, he had a hell of a game, and the last 2 games, he's had hell of games. That and triple double with Ole Miss, and we've unfortunately wasted 2 very very good performances from Amari.
I just. It's just so low energy from other players is what I'm seeing. You know what I mean? It's like it's the energy of the game. Like Tennessee game took a lot of energy, obviously, right? Very hype, very, very big. And then it's like they weren't able to recover the energy drop from that game to Arkansas game. And the Arkansas game happened and they were obviously mad, very angry. But then they went to Ole Miss and the energy wasn't there. And apparently we've got the coach breaking chairs and busting things up, which, hey, I'm all for that, right? But, the players have to, adopt that same kind of mindset mentality.
All right, I agree. And, well, let's go on to yesterday with the Ole Miss game, because enough talk about Arkansas. That's just probably spent too much time talking about it. Hopefully we get our rematch. If not, F it. They got to win. They'll continue to suck for the rest of the season, more than likely. Focusing on Kentucky and Ole Miss, I just didn't I guess there was the recipe for a hangover type game, like a mental collapse coming off of that, massive buildup, mostly by us, the BBN. But man, after hearing Jackson Robinson and some of the leadership things that Pope talked about on his show, I just did not expect the team to come out that way. I thought they were going to respond like they had been all year. And that first half, like you said, it was lackadaisical. There was no effort. I mean, there wasn't a crisp pass. There wasn't, help defense, falling asleep, not getting a rebound, just jacking up, not running offense. I watched the ball go to the same side of the floor and get stuck there on 4 different possessions. And that's when I put the tweet out of this offense has become wildly predictable. The
Yeah.
Amari playing the point center in Tennessee was great. We hadn't seen it before. They were confused. We did it a lot without Lamont Butler against Arkansas. Arkansas was able to pick up on it. And then you got 2 games of film on it, and Ole Miss just absolutely was able to figure it out, especially in that first half. So it's like you would think this staff would be, okay, we have to have a plan to go somewhere else if this doesn't work again. And that didn't seem to be the case. And we got down 27-30, something like that in the first half. And
it was halftime, I think, was 54-31.
Yes,
I
think it was a 27-point halftime margin. I don't know if maybe we didn't actually get to that 30 piece mark, but halftime, I'm pretty sure it was 27. But
yeah,
not
good either way.
It was just disappointing to see it in the first half, just absolutely no fight. But then we get into the second half, and you mentioned what the spark was. Apparently, Pope is in the daggum locker room breaking shit.
Breaking shit. Straight breaking shit.
Which I'm about. I am absolutely about. I didn't know like the Mormon history up until this American Primeval show on Netflix. These some guns are ruthless, okay? So if he's drawing back into some like legacy 1800 like Brigham Young type Mormonism, I'm about it because they'll straight up kill somebody, right? So like if he needs to bring that person out to get these boys to wake up, I'm all for it.
We're all for it. We're all for it.
Did you notice the blood on his hand and his sleeve when he came out? So I must have been all up in my feels because I had changed outfits. I came and sat out in the garage.
I didn't realize it was from him. I thought maybe a player, like when something a player like had been cut or whatever, he touched him and got on him. But I didn't realize it was from him. But apparently, homeboys in there breaking chairs and punching things, whatever. So I'm here for it, like because I think that the fan base has been wanting to see that sort of like crash outside of Mark Pope, right? Like we've been wanting to see him get angry besides just standing going yelling, "Oh my gosh!" like the gif that we have, right? Like we've been wanting him to show that sort of like really pissed off emotion that we're used to seeing it Lakers just have, and we haven't seen it. And granted, we didn't see it, but we know now that it has happened. Like we know now that he will do that. And I think that kind of changes things a little.
Shout out to that dude who caught it and called into the show because we wouldn't have known that it happened.
Right.
And you could tell he almost wanted it to get out a little bit, like he wasn't going to say that would happen, but he wanted to know, like, hey, I'm in these boys' ass right now because it's unacceptable what we're seeing, right? And that's kind of a weird. It's always a weird phrase, unacceptable. We have to accept that it has happened, but they need to freaking change it, right?
Well, didn't he say that it was because their standards at Kentucky, we're not like meeting them? Like that was his quote, right? Like their standards are we're not meeting the standards.
We have high standards, we're not meeting them. And they asked about, well, can you build something off the second half? Which I was happy to see us come back and fight. You know, as if we would have given a little bit of effort in the first half, we're in that game.
We would have won that game.
It's just we got down to 9 within 1 point. And you're like, how are we actually in this thing? Like we have some belief. I
thought we had a chance to come back.
Yeah,
like I thought if we could string it stops together, I think we would have come back on that game. The problem is the defense was the issue, and this sadly, this is the worst for defense in Pope's coaching era. Go back to Utah State, or right Utah. Was it Utah State?
Valley. No. Utah Valley State, yeah.
Utah Valley. That's right, Utah Valley. I was getting through, like I'm confused. But I think people need to understand too, like how literally not having 2 of our point guards affects this team. Like I know we beat Tennessee. I know that we beat Gonzaga without both point guards. I get that. But at the end of the day, those are 2 huge pieces that we're missing, especially Lamont Butler. Like Lamont Butler is our defensive engine for this team. And he brings something a little special, a little different that no one else brings. And he's out. Carcresa is out. And Travis Perry's better, but he's not ready for some of that pressure that people are throwing at him. He's not.
Yeah.
So it's a huge loss, and it's frustrating.
Yeah, Lamont Butler being out is especially his on-ball pressure, 100%. I mean, he's been out for 3 games now, I believe, and he's still on the all defensive player watch list, a national defensive player of the year watch list. So what he can do. I mean, we've seen it multiple times, whether he is forcing a steal for an easy transition bucket or his ball pressure is forcing a bad pass, and Owe has gotten a steal and will go and slam it in transition offense. So those easy points aren't there. And again, we've been predictable on offense with Amari at the top of the key, trying to do the screening for the handoff or faking the handoff, trying to go backdoor. But again, the second half showed some promise, and hopefully we can build off of that. The effort thing is something that can't necessarily be coached, I don't think. But things like the halftime rant that happened, apparently, the effort and discipline and just fight, the will to win or will to get a stop, that can be instilled in these kids, right? So it doesn't have to, that's probably going to come from the coach, Pope or somebody, or it can be player accountability. Like, that has to be instilled in this team of saying, hey, listen, we have the tools to do this. We had 3 all defensive conference players, Lamont, Amari. Was there a third one?
Was Owe one?
I don't know.
I don't remember.
Arkansas,
I know for sure we have 2. Well, no. I think we. But Amari won it 3 times.
Oh, okay.
That's what it is.
But so yeah,
I don't know.
So
going out at somebody, but
he probably went multiple times. But we got 2. The point of the matter is, we went and got all defensive. 2 of the big pickups. Right, I think Amari was the first pickup, an all defensive guy, and it took him a little bit to figure out SEC play. Obviously, Drexel a little bit different than playing with the Tennessees and Auburns and Floridas. Yeah. But we went and got defensive studs. So we have the talent, the tools to do those things. It's just an effort thing. And we can see the players that are giving that effort consistently. We all love Otega. Owe is one of the heart and soul of this team. He would have a similar effect if he was out losing 16, 18 points a game. And what he can do with it, get to the rack, that would be huge. If we didn't have him in there, that would be a hit to the offense. But dadgum, you see 3-4 times a game where he just falls asleep on the backside of a defense and it's an easy cut to the basket. It's like those things, they can be eliminated. That's just awareness and effort and giving yourself. I think the coaching staff called it leverage type plays, where it's just like you're not necessarily involved in the play, but what are you doing away from the ball to help the defense and prevent an opposing team get a bucket,
right?
Or what are you doing on the offensive side to stretch the floor, those sort of things. And the lineups that he puts in there, or the frequency of which that he changes the lineups has to stop.
No, because I agree.
With Arkansas and Ole Miss, I'm not a big brain basketball coach. I know that. So someone out there can maybe educate me when this episode comes out. We were supposed to be built off of a 3-point efficient offense, right? We will trade hard 2s for 3s. So 3s and layups, because the analytics says that's a winning recipe. Get 3-point shooters to shoot the ball 35 times a game, right? So if that's our philosophy on the offense to win games, why are we letting other teams jack up 3s to win like that? I don't understand. Tennessee, Arkansas, Ole Miss, all of them shot the most 3s they had ever made or shot attempted in a game this season. And they I believe, happened to make the most they've done all season. So
we don't have 3-point defense, Rando.
But is it being coached that way? Is it being taught, or are players just not listening? Like with Amari planting his big ass, behind 2-3 feet behind the 3-point line with his arm up, like that's not a closeout. Like, is he?
You have to be in their face.
Yeah, is he scared to get blown by? Or, I mean, again, I watched Ansley do it a couple times where his toes are on the 3-point line, but he's just kind of there with his hand up. So it's like an easy gather, go into a 3-point shot.
It's weird. And I had a thought about the defense. I think it was this morning or something like that. And I don't know if I'm ready to put it out there yet, but it's a thing. It's maybe a thing. I have to do some numbers and run some numbers and see, but it's almost seems like they are scared of getting blown by and not having someone to back them up almost. We don't typically have great help side defense. But actually, you know what? Screw it. I'm going to say it. Mark Fox was brought in to be defensive coach, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So is that the issue? Like, is his defensive scheme just not working for the SEC? Because and he's a Georgia for a while, but I don't remember his Georgia teams in their defense. I have to check them out and see numbers wise. But like, and I saw other people tweet this too. Like, we have to focus on defense as much as we have to focus on offense. And if that means going out and finding a hard-nosed defensive coach or assistant or something to kind of bolster that, that's what we need to do, because in the SEC, this league's only going to get better, unfortunately. As good as it is now, it's only going to get better. It's going to be consistent. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And unless we can figure out and fix our defensive issues season after season, and unless we can match the energy of the defense of other teams, we're going to have these consistent results like this where we scratch our heads and wonder, why aren't we guarding the 3-point line? Like, what is the issue? And that will drive the fan base absolutely bonkers. Like, I think somebody put a hex on us. I'm not going to lie. We got some bad juju somewhere because
I know what it is. I know exactly what it is. And I'm going to break the curse on Saturday because I'm wearing my signed Reed Shepherd jersey. Y'all wanted to hate on the son of Kentucky because he was trying to support his coach. All this hate. Our show's going to get canceled because I just said that, but I believe it. I'm wearing my signed Reed Shepherd jersey on Saturday. I'm breaking this dang curse, and y'all need to let it go.
But the curse has been here for so long, Rando. Like,
maybe.
Like, that's the thing is, like...
But it's because of similar shit like this. Because we out here...
I agree. We are some of the biggest haters in the world. Yeah. Like, we will throw the nonsense out so damn fast, it's not even funny.
Yeah.
I know, I agree with you as far as... You don't hate... But... Okay. The Reed Shepherd thing. Okay, listen. He could have just had like a shirt with Cal's face on it, okay, and not an Arkansas men's basketball shirt. He did not play for Arkansas men's basketball, okay. His coach went there, so wear a Cal shirt or maybe like a pair of shorts with Cal on them and like a UK like men's basketball T-shirt, like that. That's all I'm saying. Like, I get supporting your coach, I get it. Who should have started you, by the way, but you know, whatever. But that was a little spicy.
It hurt,
okay?
It hurt me in the moment too.
I was
convinced it was AI and not real. And then I listened to his interview.
I think we talked about that, didn't we?
Yeah. On the show, we're like that.
It's fake.
Yeah, we went to the Houston Rockets like Twitter page, and sure enough, it was posted there. You're like, "Dadgum, Reed, what are we doing, man?" But then he was like, "Hey, Cal's my coach, and I'm a Kentucky boy, but Cal's my coach. I'm supporting my coach." And I think he did that for a reason. Like, Reed showed that, hey, the reason why he became a 3 overall pick from being, not, undrafted, not even going to be in the NBA type guy for the next couple of years, is because he got a big old set of nuts on him. And he was just like, listen, I'm putting him out there and I'm supporting my coach. And I was like, you know what? Hey, Reed, good on him, my guy, because I'm sure he heard, Cal refuses to start Reed and Rob, so there must be something there. He's picking DJ and Justin over, and it almost seemed like it was a message, like, you know what, Cal's my dude. I support him. Yes, maybe the fan base didn't agree with him. Yes, maybe if we start Reed and Rob and we win some games, or yes, if we just freaking guard Jack Golke, maybe we go on a daggum run and Cal's still the coach, and we got a different team. Maybe all this things
Roy,
happen.
Calm down, your dadgum over there.
But it's one of the things where he just seemed like, hey, I'm putting it out there that Cal's my dude, and I'm supporting forever. And I know the fan base didn't like it. Again, I didn't like it in the moment, but I respected it, and that's why I'm not going to hate on Reed. And everybody's like, well, I hope he doesn't come back to Kentucky. You want to do some basketball camp? You know what? Everybody going to go to his freaking basketball camp. And,
they will.
And he'll come back and everything's going to be fine. But, yeah, hopefully I'll break the curse and we smack South Carolina, because I'm going to wear my my Reed Shepherd jersey. Even though Reed, you could have made like a bigger signature. Like this thing is like, this big. You can barely see it. I think I spent my money on better things before, but hey, shout out.
Shout out. I will say it was very kind of telling of the culture of the program the last couple of years with Cal there by the players that showed support only to Cal and not Kentucky.
You definitely saw it, and I know that's frustrating as well. But were you surprised? I mean, Cal has always been yes, he did a lot of great things for Kentucky, but he was always, I'm going to get dudes and I'm going to get them to the league.
Well, no, I think it was because every player that seemed to have say something about Cal winning and being a good whatever, those were all from the teams that had problems and it got bounced quickly in the tournament and stuff, right? Because Billy Cauley-Stein and all of them, they're like, oh no, we're for Kentucky, we're Kentucky boys, yeah. Right? And
shout
those
out
players,
Willie's a real one for real. As much as I give, yeah.
and those players that show the support for the university, those are the teams that seem to have better culture, better. They won, obviously, right? Better presence. I wonder if there's a weird parallel to that, where the players that showed support only for Cal were on teams that, frankly, did not meet expectations, right?
Yeah, that's a good question. And are they only for Cal because they didn't meet expectations? And again, the fans ate them up. Like Ty took some shots he got hurt, but Ty took some shots for not being able to win games and getting bounced early.
Ashton's over there talking too, but Ashton had problems on the team. He almost left the team for a little bit, right? So that's why I'm wondering if there was
didn't say nothing. Shaden Sharp didn't support Cal. He's a Kentucky boy, I guess.
What are you doing, Rando? What are you doing? Listen, you're gonna light the world on fire again with that one.
Yep.
But no, I just wonder if that is speaking of the culture that was there, previous teams that did not, let's say, oh no, we're for the university, versus teams that did not produce the wins that were expected of them, that were speaking out for Cal. I wonder if there's a parallel there, because it seemed to only be the people who spoke out that were the people that did not do great.
Fair.
As far as winning goes, you know what I mean? So I just wonder if there's a parallel to that. I found it interesting.
Yeah, I think the play that was probably the best way to go about it is just be silent. That we saw a lot of Kentucky players just say nothing. And maybe that was the play. Again, to close this out, Reed kind of went on the one extreme that I understand why people don't like it, but you got to respect it at least. And just forgive.
Mom's still in business too. Mama Reed's still in business.
Mm-hmm. And just let it go, because we need as much good juju in the world as possible, especially around the Commonwealth. And just forgiving that man, finding your inner pope, and showing some Mormon forgiveness or whatever religion you support. And then let's move on. But South Carolina's coming up on Saturday.
Yes.
It gets thrown out. It gets thrown out a lot. We have to win that game, and it can't be close. South Carolina has had a bunch of close games in the SEC, but I'm pretty sure they're still completely defeated in the SEC.
Yes.
So smacking some cocks around on Saturday has to happen. I was setting that one up on a tee, just ready to send it out.
Smacking some cocks around. All right, we're partying. Oh, I'm coughing. Oh no. Anyways, I'm fine. Okay. Sorry for the loss of the PG-13 rating.
Yeah.
There. That game can be close. It really can't. That has to be a statement game, 20+ point win, I think. If it's any closer, people are still questioning everything. Speaking of questioning, if I see one more person say they're to fire Mark Pope, you need to hand over your freaking fan card. Y'all are a bunch of idiots.
Stop.
Stupid. so freaking stupid. So dumb.
Don't be. It's childish. It's like let's stop doing it. Pope has done great things in the first part of the season, and yes, we got a lot of big wins, and the losses that we've had are frustrating, especially the last couple. The way we have lost them is super frustrating. But we started off the year saying, "Hey, looking at the schedule, look at the SEC, especially as we got into SEC play. If we can end SEC play, get to the tournament with 9-10 losses, that's a really good season. Not even probably. That's a really good season with the SEC goes.
Especially for SEC ways, yeah, for sure.
Now, I don't think we were expecting to be sub 500 in the SEC because we thought we would beat Vandy and we thought we would beat Georgia and we thought we would beat Arkansas, and we did. Yeah. So I understand why that's frustrating. But who was it? Stephen Peak that put out today of like, hey, the last year's Kentucky team and this year's Kentucky team are sitting at the same schedule as long as we beat South Carolina. Yep. Same record. And then that team was able to figure some stuff out and go on a run. And then we kind of peaked before the SEC tournament, and then it's all that's history. But so if we can get healthy and Carr gets some more fluid, minutes, and it's not choppy based off his back, and Lamont can come back and we actually get some point guard one play, and the defense can, start getting in the, 70s in KenPom maybe. I don't think we're going to get into the 40s top tournament team would be, or like those Final Four analytics show that the Final Four teams are top 40, and I think in both offense and defense KenPom rings. But if we can just start moving in that direction when we get healthy, I think we're going to be okay. And if the effort piece and the fight matches the talent and the pieces that we have that have played so well in these big games, if that becomes more consistent, we can go 7-9 in these to close out SEC play. 7 wins, 7 out of 9, I should say. We can go steal one against Bama or let Auburn come and be able to play with them. I've seen this team do it. When we play the way we did in the second half of Ole Miss, offensively and defensively, we can go toe-to-toe with anybody in the country.
Yeah.
And I truly believe that. Up until we started hacking on the free throw line, or to get to Ole Miss to the free throw line with about 2 minutes left in the second half, we held to 37 points. That's the same team that dropped 54 in the first half. We held them to 37. Yes, you could say, well, they're kind of slowing the ball down or whatnot. But don't forget that with 5 minutes left to go in the game, that was a 9-point game. So like they were starting to need find some urgency as well. So what can we do to start trying to generate turnovers? What can we do to limit our own turnovers? What can we do to make the offense not as predictable? And then, what can we do to find effort? And I know you said Travis Perry isn't quite ready yet. And for some reason, the staff seems to think Trent Noah isn't quite ready yet because he's not getting the minutes that he needs, or that I think he needs. But I know when Travis Perry and Trent are in the game, or when when you have Travis Perry, Trent, Jackson Robinson, and Carr, those 4 are going to give you all the effort you need to at least stay in a game and show some fight. Yeah. Because when those 4 are in the lineup, it's when that lead got cut down from 27 to 15, and now the whole team started to believe. And now Ortega came back in, and now he's playing at the level that we know he can play. Same with Brea. He kind of stepping up on the defensive side and made some big buckets in the second half. Jackson Robinson chucked up a 3 with under a minute left, and it hit the rim, and the game was pretty much over. And I watched Trent Noah go up between 2 dudes and get a tip out that went to absolutely nobody because the rest of the team had their head down knowing that they had lost the game. But number 9 from Harlan went up there and he's fighting up until the last second. They dribbled the ball back down. He's reaching, trying to get a steal, and was able to knock the ball out of bounds. Like, that's the kind of thing that I want to see this time. Like, yes, we might be dead in the water, but I'm gonna fight until like the pulse is done and they've counted me out and I'm actually dead. Right, the final horn sounds. That's when I will start giving up. That's the kind of thing I want to see. And if that means the less talented players, or less developed players, I should say, get more minutes, then hey, that's what you got to do. That's what you have to do. And you look at your upperclassmen or your more talented, more developed players and go, when you want to match this level, you'll get some PT. Until then, I'm going to roll with my guys who show me they're going to give max effort as for as many minutes as they possibly can.
Yeah, no, and I agree. And this all goes back to the lineups that Pope plays. Good heavens, English is hard. And struggling. But I know Pope is an analytics guy, and like they've done all these studies that show like after so many minutes, right? Like the players aren't doing as well, the performance drops off. But sometimes in the game of basketball, you have to kind of let that go out the window, and you run your horses, quote unquote.
Yep.
Till like 100%. You just run them until they can't. Like you can't always play the analytics game in basketball. You make them go until they can't. You give them a break and put them right back in again, right? Like you don't sub out 4 or 5 people at a time and do all that, because that messes with people's flow. But I know again Pope's a really big analytics guy, so that's kind of what he's banking on, leaning on. But sometimes you can't. You just have to go with who's giving you the most effort and the most like or your best chance to win the game. And when they get tired and literally can't, sub them out for a minute or two, gonna break them right back again. Like, and I know that's frustrated people a lot too within the BBN, because I know people's been hot and taking them out. Like, why did you sub them? Like, they made 3 shots in a row. Like, leave them in the game until they literally can't go anymore, and then get them a break and then put them back in again.
Yeah, 100%. And I mean, you said it. Ride your thoroughbreds. You like the dudes who you went out and got. Yeah. Jackson Robinson, who's making a lot of money. Otega, who is hopefully going to be a linchpin for this team next year when he comes back. Amari Williams, who was, is a big man, and I know it takes a lot of energy for him to run up and down the court, but he was absolutely dominating. And again, I go back to the Arkansas game, 18-12, and all the momentum. You know what analytics does not measure? Momentum. And you can tell me it's not real. I 100% believe in Big Mo. And if you have the ability to step on their neck and just hit the jugular early on in that game to where they don't believe they can play with us, that has an effect that analytics can't judge, right? There's a mental side of it that you can play into. And there's a mental side of it that you can play into for our guys too, to where they feel like, okay, I was exhausted 5 minutes in this game running up and down the floor, but I know I just saw myself fight through that. So then we get into tournament play, there's a familiarity there too. Like, I feel like I could talk to this pretty well. Once you go through a gauntlet of like a training environment or something, living outside, not being fed, not getting a lot of sleep, feeling like you're legitimately going to die. And then you break through and you get to the other side of that, environment or that hurdle, what was the word I'm looking for? That just the struggle, right? You get through the shit, as we say it. Like, okay, I've done it once, I can do it again. Like, so I think there's a piece of that we need to build with this team. Like we saw, like this team knows we can get down by double digits and come back and win. Like we've seen it happen.
Right. Let's
not rely on that though. Let's get to, we've seen ourselves kind of push past fatigue. We've seen ourselves fight for the first half. We've seen ourselves collectively come together as a team for a win and give, I keep saying it, but effort throughout the whole 40 minutes. And then we'll be something special.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I think if we get the effort part fixed, that I think it'll be different. I think that's a lot of the thing right now is effort. And granted, I know we're down players, right? We have missed 2 point guards. Carr's back is, who knows what Carr's back is at this moment, right? But the effort is by the other players on the court has to rise to the occasion. Even that means you're going to be exhausted. Oh well, it's sports. Is what happens. You get exhausted. You recover and you do it again. Like it's just what it is. But so kind of has to be a win. Has to be a statement win, I think. And I want to see effort. I want to see them guarding the 3-point line with with the like sense of urgency. You know what I mean? Like I want that to be like their focus. Like
Run them
I
off
want
3-point line.
every player catches the ball is a shooter, run them off the 3-point line. Like every other team does to us, do it to them. You know what I mean? Like, that's what I want to see. But I digress. That is Saturday.
I think we're going to get that. I do. I was nervous going into Arkansas. I was a little bit more confident Ole Miss, but I knew that I watched them. I watched Ole Miss play Auburn very closely. I didn't know that we would have it in us this game, not just because of South Carolina, but we're coming back to Rupp. There was a tweet that was out there. I don't remember who put it, but it was some to the extent of this is either the ass whooping that we needed or the one that's going to absolutely tear us down. And I'm going to go with the first piece of that, and it's the tail whooping that we needed. And this team is going to start getting themselves together and understand that for some of these dudes, this is last chance, right? Kentucky was last chance U, and they got a hell of an opportunity, but they need to actually start playing like they did at the beginning of the year where, you know, wearing this Kentucky jersey actually meant something to them because they didn't think they'd have this opportunity before. So let's see that team again. Let's see some growth in dudes like Trent Noah, see some growth in Travis Perry, and then let's get Lamont back hopefully soon, and let's take this thing on a run. And I truly believe Saturday is going to be a statement win, and then we're going to get Tennessee, who just had a great game against Missouri in our house. And can we take down a top 5 team and get a kind of the same kind of confidence boost Arkansas seemingly has at the moment as they're up 43-24 in the second half against Texas? So, can we get our big statement win or another big statement win? We've had some this season. Can we get another one in SEC play that can catapult us into postseason play?
I think so. Also, shout out to Amari for having the only 4th triple-double.
Yeah.
In UK history. Huge for a 7-foot guy like that to have 10 assists. Massive. You don't see many 7-footers dropping dimes like that. But I want to take some time to talk about the girls' team right now.
Absolutely.
Listen, they're ridiculous. Georgia Amore is out of this freaking world. 43 against Oklahoma at Oklahoma is stupid. Like, it is stupid. And they keep getting disrespected in the polls, and I don't understand why. Like, they've lost one game. Well, yeah, I think she won National Player of the Week this week.
But still not on the National Player of the Year watch list, I don't think.
Which I don't understand that either.
Yeah.
But again, they're not being respected at all. Like, they've lost what, 2 games this whole year, and they only have one loss in the SEC. They just beat Oklahoma at Oklahoma, which is not always easy. And they've moved up, I think, 1 in the AP poll.
Yeah, 11th, right? 11th.
And I'm like, okay, what do we got to do to break top 10? Like, what do we have to do? Because this is ridiculous. Like,
we got LSU coming up, right? Soon. Ole Miss on Monday, and then I think LSU is shortly after that, if not the next game.
I believe so. Yeah.
I think that's when it's going to have to take, though. Is let's go to Ole Miss,
beating
beat them,
LSU. Yeah,
beating the top team to really show that it's, you know, we're on the map. And Kenny Brooks is for real. George is for real. Strack is for real. And and honestly, if we keep getting disrespected, let those women have the chip stack on their shoulder and go make a deep tournament run regardless, because there seemingly isn't a team that we can't stand up with in the SEC or in the country.
No one can guard Georgia Amore. Like, nobody can guard her. Like, it doesn't matter what they do, she finds a way out of it. And like,
you know what? You just reminded me of something. The last 2 losses, especially against this Ole Miss, this is all Kenny Brooks, because I called out there and I asked him if we could borrow Georgia as a point guard. They were going to Ole Miss anyways, and I tweeted him out. I said, "Hey, women's basketball, can we get 3?
Can we borrow Georgia?
No one on the team has the 3 jersey, and we need a point guard. So if you could just send her out here just to kind of get us some I bet she'd go for 10 and 5, 10 points, 5 assists against these men. I guarantee it.
Listen. I don't know. Okay, so they changed her shooting form about a month ago, and since then, like, it's ridiculous. Like, she rarely misses. I think she's averaging. I think it was like 28 points in the 2 wins this week. They had so.
And I know she could break a press without picking the ball up in the half court and instantly getting a turnover. I know she could. I've seen her not
she
do
can do that.
Yeah. So thanks, Kenny.
Yeah,
I appreciate it. We had a chance to get a win against
for
Ole Miss, and
thanks
your
for the
selfish
letdown,
ass
Kenny.
didn't want to let us borrow a player.
No, I wish they would get more respect. I really do. They're so good. They are so good. Like, D-Law's playing so much better. Like, she's gotten comfortable playing. Clara Strack is really good. Claire Silver's getting better. Amelia Hassett is finally showing what she can do on the court.
Yeah.
Like, she's growing into herself, and she's looking so much better. Tiana Key is Tiana Key. Like, you have to game plan for her because she's so good. And then Georgia Amore, well, just good luck. Like, good luck.
Yeah.
The only thing that worries me about the team is because their starters do play a whole lot of minutes. Like, I don't think Georgia rarely comes out. Especially the game is close. She doesn't come out of the game. Neither does Clara Strack. And that part's kind of worrisome, just for wear and tear on them throughout the season. But dude, they're so good. And I'm so, like, mad that they don't get respected within the AP poll. Because there's not many other teams that could play the people they've played and have the record that they have.
Yeah, I mean, I was stuck in the in Bluegrass Airport as my plane was breaking down, and I got to watch them play on last Sunday, and it was the only joy of the weekend that I had. Luckily I saw a Kentucky basketball team get a win, and it was the women. So I appreciate them.
Like, thank you for saving my weekend.
I appreciate that. I would have preferred 2 wins, but shout out to the women.
Beggars can't be choosers, Rando. Yeah.
Lady Cat's got me a dub, and I'll be happy for it. And I'll cash in a ticket right now to go to them. Before I left Lexington, I did put in a little bit of a sprinkle on women's basketball to win the title. So, yeah.
Well, hey, listen, we already know that. $10
win you like $1,000 right now. $10 win you $1,000.
Shit.
To bet on them. I mean, that's worth it. Yeah.
$10, of course it is. I mean, we already know we have plans that if the men's team could Final Four, the women's team, we are doing some illegal shit on state streets.
Yeah, 100%.
We're gonna have those plans.
$1,000,000%.
So, but yeah, I just wanted to touch on them because, again, like, they're so freaking good. Like, it's the best thing we've had in a really long time.
We ended the last show, and you're like, dang, we should have talked about the women because they had just gotten a big win, and they definitely deserve the respect from the fan base if they're not going to get it from the national pundits and the AP polls like you were mentioned before. So, Georgia, Kenny, women, go get one against Ole Miss. They need to get smacked in the mouth for what they did to us. So if you could just drop a 30-piece on them, that would be great.
Please and thank you.
And then, we'll be standing by until we play South Carolina and hope we get a big statement win. I think that's going to be a massive Jackson Robinson, Otega away game, like the staples on the team. I think they go back in. Wouldn't it be great if we got a couple minutes from Lamont just to kind of get the feel back in it before the Tennessee game? I would, just a handful of minutes, just kind of get some flow back, test the shoulder out, just to see him on the court. I think would be uplifting for the team and the fan base.
Yeah, I think that would help. I've heard a couple of things about his shoulder, and neither of them are good.
Yeah,
put it that way. Like,
AC
neither
sprain
of them are great.
is one of them. Rotator cuff is another one.
And like, listen, I've had rotator cuff repair surgery. It's not fun. Like, your shoulder literally does not work the same when those fuckers are tore. Like, they don't work the same.
Yeah. I've had 2 on my right shoulder, and I tore it again. I said I'm not going to have a third one. So it was a long rehab process, just kind of get back to it.
Awful.
But it's just a pain tolerance thing, right? So what can they do to kind of get that pain tolerance and range of motion down? And it being his off arm is a little bit helpful, even though he's a ball player, so he can use both. But but I think that his left one is the one he mostly plays defense with too, is why it's causing a big issue, because he doesn't, he doesn't have that. As I wave to the camera, because you can see me BBN me waving my hand up and down, because that's what we're doing here. It's fine. 75-80% Lamont Butler on the court would just be great, though, even if we only get him for like I said, a handful of minutes. But yeah, I think that's a wrap on this one. Hopefully, I don't think we're going to do a show Sunday just because I'll be Super Bowl boozed up and watching, having a good time.
Okay.
Especially since I have Monday off. So it's going to be a great time.
What?
We got a Super Bowl pick before we close this out?
Super Bowl pick?
Yeah. Are you Team Swift? Are you a Swiftie?
No.
Oh, anti-Swiftie.
I am not a Swiftie. I've never been a Swiftie. I will never be a Swiftie.
So I'm 100% a Swiftie. I love me some Taylor Swift.
No, I've never in my life.
Feeling 22.
Which makes me weird, but it's fine.
That being said, I'll be cheering for the Eagles just because don't want the three-peat to happen. Need a new winner. Saquon Barkley will get you a ring. That's who I'll be cheering for. I don't know who I'm laying my money on yet, but my heart will be with the Eagles. But
yeah,
Salena, as always, good talking ball with you. Great therapy session. Hopefully, Big Blue Nation was able to vent with us. Let's see some effort. Let's see some intensity, and let's smack some Gamecocks around on Saturday.
Oh, Lord.
All right. There we go. It's a wrap. As always, Go Cats, bleed blue.
Go Cat.
Peace. Raw dog.
Thanks for joining us on another episode of the Bleed Blue Network podcast. We hope you enjoyed diving deep into the world of Kentucky sports with us. Don't forget to stay connected by following us on Twitter at BleedBNation. Your feedback means the world to us. So take a moment to leave a review. Not only does it help us improve, but it also helps others discover the show. Until next time, keep cheering, keep listening, and keep bleeding blue.